Aquarius, welcome to Follow Your Heart Intuition. I'm just doing 3 air sign readings, and you're the one that is the third one in the readings I've just done. So let's see what's going on for you. I hope you're all doing well. And yeah, following your heart, following your dreams, expressing yourself authentically, protecting yourself from certain environments that are toxic to you. That's what I'm getting. Protect yourself, Aquarius, from people who try to impose their understanding of healing onto you. So take from these readings what resonates and leave what doesn't. That's really important. That actually goes for every reading. Just take from them what resonates, and what doesn't, just let it be. So Aquarius, what is going on for you? Building blocks. Orphaned. Regeneration. Observer. Clean it up. It's like you've built something with someone, could potentially be a business, and then they suddenly change their mind or left you out in the cold. You don't know why, but you gained your strength back, Aquarius, and you've looked at this drama from the distance, okay? This is some kind of drama that was created. And you're cleaning it up, either with this person or alone. I get this feeling this is a business situation, Aquarius. It's like you've built this thing together with someone else, and then they decided to go their own way. And in some ways you felt a sense of being abandoned, which is a natural feeling. But out of it you grew stronger. You definitely grew stronger. Maybe it got too hot for that other person. Maybe it just got too intense. Maybe you were too intense. I don't know. But yeah, you sort of step back from the whole situation, and you know, you sort of, as the dust settled, you are now cleaning things up. Someone could have left you in the lurch. They let you take all the responsibility, and you're the one who's now cleaning it up, because you've got an abundant mindset, which is really positive. So you're learning to think of abundance that's something that happens all around you. It's not something that happens in the future. You're learning to understand, okay, I've had this, and I know how I got there, and I can do this, and I see all the good things around me today. So think, feel, and speak of abundance as something you already have in the present moment. This has to do with quantum physics. And in that sense, you will experience it. So stay away from fear-based thoughts, from negativity of others, from others feeling sorry for you, because that's not empowering you in that sense. And you're going to restart what it is you've worked on with this other person, but you're going to restart it. Maybe you have to go back to a 9-to-5 job part-time, but you're going to work on this dream career, and it will take flight and fully support you in the future. So whatever it is, I've had an experience in my life where I was connected to a publication company, and they really screwed up on some levels, and I literally had to start from scratch, but I never gave up. But there was a kind of hiatus of about 4 years where I didn't want to touch the project, and then to regain my strength, to regain my clarity, to regain where I potentially was also responsible for this happening. To claim back my sense of responsibility, and also the responsibility that I have in regard to this project, so that I could move it ahead, but in a different way. And this is where you are going through, Aquarius. This sort of journey is something you're going through. And also believe that you are deserving. Okay, like anyone else, you deserve to receive the support that will allow you to focus upon your divine life purpose. And you might at this point not quite recognize your lovable qualities because things went queer-shaped, and there's some negative self-talk going on. But you need to trust that you're being supported, and also recognize how truly amazing you are, Aquarius. Aquarians in general work towards humanitarian things. Aquarians also can have the tendency to always want to be right, and just also take responsibility where you potentially manipulated situations to work in your favor, and why someone walked away from you. You may have triggered them, you may have manipulated them, and some form of power struggle evolved, and that person walked away, and maybe rightly so. So in some ways, maybe you've kind of taken advantage of someone else until they finally said, okay, this is where I draw the line. So do look at, reflect on the truth. Sometimes we tend to want to blame someone else. When we actually look closer at the situation, we realize, wow, I acted really obliviously here, or superficially, or selfishly. So ego can be involved, Aquarius. I'm going to pull an angel card for this particular reading. And yeah, there's something here where it asks, this is Angel Melina, and this angel realizes that you're confused because of a certain lack of information. So there's some self-inquiry involved in this. Maybe you've gotten advice from people who told you what you wanted to hear, rather than actually made you question your own motive in this particular situation where someone decided they didn't want to have you around. You find it really hard to make decisions because you have maybe ego-based motivations in regard to what you're doing. Okay. Maybe you did somehow try and pull the wool over someone else's eyes. So have a look at that as well. Maybe you thought that person maybe that was a very generous person, but you just sort of changed certain facts to fit what you thought they couldn't see through. And you didn't take responsibility where you should have. So I think it's really important that you look at those aspects and not lie to yourself. Maybe you saw that you could make money around this person, but you also kind of tricked them into kind of giving you advice, and then knowing how they thought, you started to manipulate them. It's like whenever you wanted clear advice, that person was very open to you. And then you thought, oh, I know how this person thinks. Now I want this on top of that. And you sort of started to manipulate them until they might have suddenly said, no, this is your responsibility. This is your part of the bargain. And I'm not carrying it for you. So I get this sense as well that you let someone else carry your part of the bargain. And they did the double work. And they became wary of it. And they started to look at the situation more clearly. And they decided, okay, this is not moving into a co-creative situation. It was more a competitive one. I also get the feeling that this person was very dynamic, and they knew what was good for them, whereas you solely focused maybe on money. You think the only thing that gives you inner peace is money. So it could be that you constantly kept this sense of abundance in the future, and you didn't realize what you had in the present. And maybe you were envious that this person was multitasking. This person was quite dynamic in working, let's just say, a day job, but also dynamic enough to work on the other side of things, because they felt like everybody deserves this kind of encouragement. And then potentially they grew wary of your manipulations, which you tried to figure them out with your mind. You didn't take them you didn't actually, I get the sense that potentially this could be the other person as well, but it's like you underestimated their authority. They had a sense of authority around them, and you kind of you wanted to undermine their authority. It's like you were encroaching on their space and then acted like it was your space. And I think that person eventually caught up with it and thought, hey, how come you're bringing in people into the office that not even you have met or I have met, and you just sort of sharing our information? That kind of, you were literally encroaching on the private space of the other person, and being in some ways acting like you had the privilege of doing that, acting like you were entitled to encroach on their space by bringing people into it, or giving away information that was sacred to this particular friendship. And I think that person was really patient with you. But eventually she or he decided that you were not respecting their space. You were trying to take for granted that this was a really good situation for you. You started to take it for granted, and they potentially said, look, I want you to leave. Okay. They also realized that if they kept you, in some ways mollycoddling you, you would not grow stronger. And it might be wise of you to potentially apologize to that person. Yeah, you could. Yeah, there would be nothing wrong with apologizing to this person. But that person might have blocked you out now, I don't know. So this reading has to do with a partnership, and that person has also taught you with this dynamic, a deep sense of yourself through a relationship with another person. This person was potentially a soulmate, and they have taught you to be more conscious when someone is generous. This person, when you were in trouble, would have probably helped you every time, but as long as that person did what you wanted them to do, it was okay. But when they asked you to take certain responsibilities, I get the sense you were not open to it. So this is a time of remembrance, a time of reflection, and a time of healing for you. Okay, so it's really important for you to reflect on what happened and why it happened. And also, maybe it is a time of you understanding that you've got to move on without that person. That's the sense I'm getting. It's like it's time for you to move on without this particular individual. Yeah. If you have a chance to apologize, then be really direct and authentic about it and say, look, I know I was a bit of a shit and I really feel bad about it. I think that person would accept that apology. Okay, but I also get this feeling that this person is very strong. But one way of overcoming obstacles is definitely apologizing, and you work your magic. Yeah. So Aquarius, have a look at what part of this reading resonates with you. Have you treated someone by taking them for granted, or have someone taken you for granted? Is there a tendency for you to want to be right? Has someone stopped you from taking advantage of them and it's hurt your pride, but actually in some ways it is for you to make things right? Okay, I'll just pull one more card from the Yes and No deck called Angelic Answers by Doreen Virtue. Let me see. Yeah. Maybe you're afraid to apologize or make amends or forget. But maybe within a year or so you might bump into this person and then there is some peaceful resolutions, okay? So yeah, there's a lot going on here, Aquarius. So yeah, self-reflection is asked for. I would literally say that. And at least clean it up with yourself. And stop pretending potentially that you know everything. Yeah. Because they reflect a part of you. Their action reflects a part of you. So as you think of them, think of the positive aspects and think of the generosity they showed towards you, and potentially you letting your head get in the way. Maybe you're the kind of person who wants to analyze everything and protect themselves, but actually it stops a natural flow in any friendship when the feelings are ignored, either your own or the feelings of someone else, by someone overthinking. So I think this is a really important lesson for you to know where your intellect should stop and where your heart starts, and also understand that other people too have feelings, and not override them by being clever and thinking that other people or the other person is not aware of it on an emotional level. Even if they can't potentially immediately grasp it on an intellectual level, they can certainly feel when they're being tricked. Okay, so I hope this reading helps, Aquarius, and if you do want a personal reading, you can always email me at followyourheartintuition@gmail.com, and that's the only email you can contact me on for readings, and it's in the link below. And I wish you I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day and rest of Cancer season, and I look forward to giving you a reading soon. Bye for now.